Welcome to the Modern CPA Success Show, the podcast dedicated to helping accounting firms stay ahead of the curve. Our mission is to provide you with the latest and greatest insights on cutting-edge tools, innovative marketing strategies, virtual CFO services, and alternative billing methods. Join us as we change the way people think about accounting.
Everyone, we have got an episode from Chantal Cornelius today. This is one I think you're really going to like. We often talk about how to promote practices, marketing, sales. You may even get tired of hearing about it. I think she's got a strategic approach that is really different and talks more about emotion, which I think is something we've not ever talked about on here. And so I think you'll really enjoy this and probably get some individual things. Plus, there's some follow-up if you would like to do that. You hear that there's some assessments and things you can do for yourself. So this is one I think you're really going to enjoy. All right, welcome to this episode of the Modern CPA Success Show. I'm Tom Walton, one of the virtual CFOs here at Anders CPA and Advisors. We are excited today. We've got an international guest, Chantal Cornelius, and Chantal is the founder of Appletree Marketing. And welcome. Would you tell us just a little bit more about kind of what career brought you into 24 years ago starting the company and what you're doing today?
Of course. Thank you, Tom. Thank you for having me. It's great to be here. I did not plan to end up running a marketing business for 24 years. It was not my intention at all. I went to university many years ago to study animal agriculture, of all things. I thought that's what I wanted to do. I'd studied some of it at school and really enjoyed it. I thought, oh, that's a bit different and a bit interesting. I got about 2/3 of the way through my degree and realized it wasn't where I wanted to go. So I spent most of my final year at university riding horses. I still graduated and I got my degree, but I then went off to work with horses. I went to work at various riding stables and I actually trained to be a riding instructor. So I know how to teach people to fall off horses. And I'd originally planned to do it for about a year, get it out of my system. And 3 years later, I realized that it was not. I got really sick actually of the hours were awful, the pay was dreadful, the conditions were lousy, virtually no holiday. And so one day I just quit and I had no plan. You didn't know what I was going to do. I just knew I'd had enough. And in a slightly roundabout way, I ended up doing some part-time work for a business college in Oxford in the UK, which was near where I was living. And the guy who ran the college, I was writing press releases, I was making posters for him for promoting open days. And he said to me one day, would you like to be my marketing manager? And I said, what's marketing? Because I know it's laughable. I didn't even know, but it was one of the part-time courses that we ran. So he said, I'll put you through the course and you can come to the college and learn. Okay. And that's how I got into it. And I worked for him and then 2 other businesses in Oxford over 5 or 6 years, and eventually realized that I'm not very good at working for other people. I thought I need to go and set up my own business.
Okay.
It was marketing, because I realized quite soon that I actually really liked this thing called marketing, and I was quite good at it. So I thought, well, I'll do that then. So,
well, he must have thought an awful lot of you to say, be my marketing manager and then take intro to marketing. Maybe it wasn't that basic, but something like that course and figure it out.
Yeah, absolutely. And he paid me what for me was a really decent salary. I had never even thought I could earn that much money, but he saw potential in me, obviously. So.
That's wonderful. So you have written your 3rd book, Standout Strategies is your new book, and it has been released. Is that correct?
It is. So we're recording this on the 31st of October, 2024. We are about to hit go on the printing press probably tomorrow.
Okay.
It's that close. Yeah, it's about to go to press. So very, very close.
So can we start with the definition when you talk about standout strategies and what that means for the listeners? Because I think a lot of our conversation revolves around that probably.
Yeah, definitely. Back in 2015, I started getting more interested in what makes businesses stand out. Being in marketing, I've always been interested in it, looking at what makes clients different, because when you're in a crowded marketplace, whether it's marketing or coaching or accounting, it's a crowded marketplace. There are lots of businesses going, look at me, look at me, look at me. And what I noticed is that a lot of businesses were saying, well, they were trying to say how they were different and all saying the same thing.
Mm,
So classic USPs, unique selling propositions, they don't work because everybody uses the same. I'm cheaper, I'm faster, I'm better. We build relationships with our clients, blah, blah, blah. So I started digging into this, and the research took me down this very interesting path, which is basically all about how people buy on emotion. So
mhm.
whatever you think about, whatever you last bought or what you're thinking about buying next, there is an emotional, irrational, subconscious part of your brain that's going, I want it. I need that. I need it and I want it. I'm going to have it.
Yep.
Then the rational side of the brain, the conscious side, goes, well, yes, you can have it because. I've done this with horses, cars, houses, new
Yep.
pairs of boots, services. A lot of the time, I have clients who come to me and say, you're the right fit. I want to work with you. And they don't know why. I know why, because I've crafted my marketing message that way. So I just started digging into this and looking into it more. And the research helped me to identify 5 different strategies, which after an awful lot of naming issues, I came up with the standout strategies. So that's
Ah,
what they are about.
that sounds like a great place to go next. Do you want to talk about the standout strategies?
Yeah.
Or was that a tease to get people to listen? And we'll tell you about that in 25 minutes.
Yeah. So I'll run through them quickly. And as I'm doing this, Tom, I want you to think about, so this is about how your clients want to feel when they work with you.
Yep.
It's not about how you feel as the supplier. It's about how the clients feel and how they want to feel. And that's quite a big distinction that we have to make. Every business will have one of the strategies that is really key for them. So this isn't about trying to use all 5. It's about finding the one that helps you to stand out. Some businesses have 2, and I have a test that you've taken, and we'll come on to the results in a little while. And there are some businesses that have equal scores for 2, but the majority, 95% of businesses have 1. So let me whiz you through them. The first is called certainty. This is about being a safe pair of hands. Your clients want to feel safe and looked after and cared for. They want a supplier of whatever they're looking for to just get the job done. No messing around, no, would you like this or this? But really straight talking, just get on with it, get it done. The second one is connection. And this is where your clients will want to feel part of something bigger. They want to feel that they can come to you when they need extra resources. They might come to you saying, well, I know that you're an accountant, but actually, can you put me in touch with a plumber or a printing company or whatever? So it's about those resources. Now, connection isn't about the connection that we as business owners have with our customers. We have to create that connection anyway. This is about how the customer wants to feel connected to a bigger resource, a bigger pool of people by working with us. The third one is called contribution. Contribution is where clients want to feel that they are giving back to society, that they're paying it forwards, that they're not just in a business to make money. Making money is great, and we all need that. But they want more. They might want to be more involved in environmental issues or saving the planet or charity work. And actually, for charities, contribution is a really good strategy to use. The fourth strategy is called growth. This is where your clients will want to feel, empowered and energized. They want to feel motivated. They are looking to grow either themselves personally or their businesses, or both. The two often go hand in hand, particularly with sole practitioners, where there's one person in the business. They need to grow before the business can grow. And the fifth one is called significance. And this is where clients want to feel heard and listened to. They want to feel valued and respected. They want to work with a company that can help them have a bigger impact, have more significance in what they do. So those are the 5. Wonderful. And I started out with this I could have a conversation with any business and I talk to them a bit about what they do and I go, oh yeah, this is your strategy. And a lot of people go, well, how do you do that?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I've been doing it for long enough that it just happened.
That's why I get to charge so much, because I don't know and neither do you.
Exactly. But what I found is that more and more businesses who I spoke to wanted a way of doing it themselves. So I've set up
Mm-hmm.
a test on my website, which you've done. And it's
Uh-huh.
basically a way of looking at, there's a whole list of words. There are lists of words on the website, because the next stage of the research was looking at the language that goes with each of these strategies. Because when we know what language to use, we can weave it into our marketing. And that has a much stronger emotional connection with our customers, our potential clients. They might read something. I've just rewritten a LinkedIn profile for one of my clients, and her strategy is growth. And we've woven in the specific growth words. And she looked at it and sent me an email and said, this has reduced me to tears. It's absolutely spot on.
Oh,
I wasn't
okay.
intending to make you cry. But her clients were now reading and go, oh, she gets me. So, yeah.
Wonderful.
Elevate your firm with a virtual CFO playbook, how to land $60,000 per year clients and provide a killer client experience. This comprehensive online series of modules provides you with the essential tools to create and deliver scalable VCFO services. Developed from Summit's successful approach, which propelled them from $500,000 to over $10 million in revenue in 10 years. This playbook will equip you with the skills to take your firm to the next level. Additionally, upon completion, you can receive 24 hours of CPE credit for the course. Ready to grow your firm? Enroll now at vcfoplaybook.summitcpa.net.
On this, I'm curious, as you look at these strategies,
Yeah.
does this work more as a company says, this is the kind of company I want to be, so I'm going to choose these couple strategies? Or is it more of the market needs something for these kinds of services and they will come out of, my clients are going to really need these two, and so I need to adopt those strategies? Does that make sense?
It does, absolutely.
Okay.
It's a really good question. Really good question. It depends to a certain extent on the stage that the business is at. So if you are a brand new business, you get to choose. You can look at the strategies and go, you know what, I want to do significance. You promote the heck out of your service, whatever it is, on significance, which will attract clients who are looking for significance. So that's only if you're very new or you're going for a complete rebrand.
Okay.
When I was first looking at this properly, I thought that people came to work at my business, clients came because they wanted to grow their businesses. I'm a marketing consultant. I had a team of staff here, all young, bright young things who were really keen on social media. And we were constantly trying to sell more social media services to our clients. You need a blog, you need to be on YouTube, this, that, and the other. And I noticed that clients were either leaving or they were becoming really uncomfortable with, it was really hard to sell this stuff to them. And so I started saying to them, why did you come and work with me in the first place? And they said, you are a safe pair of hands, which is strategy, which is certainty. They'd come because they saw me and my business as certainty. So I looked at all the wording on our website and on LinkedIn profiles and realized it was all shouting about growth, and that wasn't what the clients wanted. So I reverted it. I changed it all completely to certainty language. And the clients all breathed a sigh of relief and went, oh, hallelujah, that's what we want. We'll stay with you. Okay. And since then, I've had a constant stream of certainty hunting clients, if you like. I'm very straight talking. I'm very certainty. This is what it's like. It's black and white. If you want it, great. If not, go away. And clients come to me and go, I want that. I want that level of straight talking. Tell me what marketing to do. So the answer to your question is it partly depends on what stage your business is at. If it's early stage, you get to choose. If you're further down the line, look at the customers that you have and find out from them, how do they feel when they work with you? Because unless you want to get rid of them all and change to a different strategy, you're better off focusing on what they actually want.
Okay,
and,
that's wonderful.
I'd been doing this for 16, 17 years, I guess. When I realized what was going on, I thought it's a bit too late to change. I'll stick to certainty.
Okay. I can see a lot of self-awareness that's needed to both be listening to those clients. And I'll tell you, when I took the survey,
Mm.
I was conscious that I was thinking, here's what I hope that they want. But I was trying to draw examples. Where have I gotten feedback and felt like I'm not sure I had enough data, because I don't often ask those things. So it was an interesting exercise to go
Yeah,
through and
yeah,
thinking, I probably need to be more aware of, hey, this
yeah.
feels like it's working well. Do you think so? And kind of why? Give me some of that feedback about that. And in that
And
is probably their answer.
that's a really important point, because the test is on my website. It's free for anyone to take. But if there's anyone listening who isn't sure why their clients work with them or how their clients want to feel, go and ask them. And the
Mhm.
question to ask is, how do you feel when you work with me? And the really key word is feel. Somebody might say, oh, Tom, I love working with you. It's great. Nice, not helpful. So you then go back to them and go, okay, and how do you feel? What emotions do you go through when we're working together? Or how do you feel after we've done some work together? And that it's that feeling, that's what you're listening out for. And
Okay.
make a note of them, record the call, and make a note of all the feelings that they say. You can also use the test on the website as a prompt. And I've had clients do this, and all sorts of people do it. They will send the lists of words to their clients and say,
Mm.
mark up how you feel. I'm in the process of developing a secondary version of the test for people to send to their clients to say, fill this in, tell me how you feel about me. Then there's going to be a slightly different way of sort of scoring it, or they will probably get the results. And so, you could send it to 5 people and say, hello, clients, please fill this in. You will then get those results, and you can then put them into your version of the test.
That sounds
So,
great.
it's about asking lots of listening with a bit of gentle prompting. So, but you're not allowed to say, oh, you feel like I'm a safe pair of hands, don't you? That's cheating.
Okay. I'm going to do this. I am in my mind thinking accountants, and saying feelings is probably not always the most comfortable, but I have a strong feeling that it may be a really good exercise when I'm with a client. Maybe it's awkward, but I'm guessing I will get a much better response than what I'm expecting of this. Oh, I'm really glad you asked, and get
They
something, and it'd be
they
great.
love it, and it's actually a really good marketing tool, because not enough people, myself included, we're not good enough at going to our clients and saying, how are we doing?
Hmm.
Are we doing what you want us to do? Are we getting the right results for you? Are we communicating with you properly? And we don't do it because generally we're scared that they might say something bad. Like they might go,
Sure.
no, actually, I had it about 6 months ago. And one of my suppliers, I have a regular conversation with her every couple of months. And she said, how's it all going? I went, actually, it's not that great. I don't know
Mm.
what you've done in your business, but I don't like what's happening. And we were on a Zoom call, and she was rabbit in headlights. She was really surprised. She said, oh, I'm really surprised to hear this. I'm like, well, you did ask me. And I'm a bit straight talking. So, yeah,
Yeah.
but clients love it when you ask.
Yeah.
You could,
It's a great question. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm laughing because I'm thinking, I don't like to hear it,
mm,
but not hearing it doesn't mean the client's not thinking it. If they're disappointed, they're not going to be less disappointed just because I brought it up.
exactly.
I'd rather
And
know.
if they're disappointed, if they're not happy with your service, what they are likely to do is just leave.
Right.
They won't tell you that they're going to leave. They will just leave. I did it recently with my accountant.
Oh dear.
I've had a bookkeeper for about 10 years. She was amazing and really annoying. She decided to retire. So because of that, and for various other bits and pieces, I moved to a new accountant who just didn't get me. I'm in marketing. I do words and pictures and colors. I'm not great with numbers. And she was sending me these great long emails saying, I need this and this and this, this. I'm like, I can't cope with this. And I thought I had tried to explain it to her a few times. And eventually I just went like, enough, I'm leaving.
Hmm.
And she said, oh, well, if I'd known you weren't happy with how we were communicating, I'd have changed. I'm like, okay, but you didn't ask and you didn't listen to what I said. So yeah, if
Yeah.
clients aren't happy, they will just leave.
Yeah.
They won't give you a warning. So that's why it's really important. I know we've gone slightly off tangent here, but
No,
it's so important to ask clients, so, how are we doing? What can we do differently?
yeah.
Because they
You're
might come
actually,
up and go, actually, could I also buy this from you, please?
yeah.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, you're actually making me think of a story where a client did decide to leave us. And from the words that she said when she called me and the
Hmm.
email she sent, you would think she was putting me up for an award. You were just incredible, all these things, but they decided to leave. And so I thought, well, you're being very polite, but I think you're doing it to make yourself not feel bad by saying you just didn't get done what we wanted to get done.
Yeah.
So I kind of got from that. I'm like, I'm not sure how much I learned because I think you were just way too nice when you did that. So to your point, they decided to leave, but I wasn't asking and they weren't telling me things that weren't working well
Mhm.
before they made that decision.
Yeah. You could have gone back to them and said, okay, can we talk about this a bit more? And that's where a
Mm,
conversation on phone or Zoom is much better than just sending them an email saying, can you tell me why? Because again, they'll just go, oh, it was nothing. Whereas
sure.
if you can have a conversation and say to me, I really want to know because I don't want other clients to feel as bad as you felt,
It's a
and I
great
don't
point.
want other clients to leave. And just I think when clients are thinking, oh, I don't want to be mean, I don't want to seem nasty, just let them go for it. Let them gosh. My mum was brilliant at complaining to
Oh,
the point it was embarrassing. We'd go out for a meal in a restaurant, and if she wasn't 100% happy, she would let them know.
oh, okay.
But it's important because, and
Yeah.
and I do it now. I've had times when I've sent food back because it's not been properly cooked to the point it's not safe, or it was, and I
Hmm.
surprise people because they go, "How was everything?" I'm going, "Well, actually, it wasn't that great." And they
Sure.
seem really surprised, but it's got to be
Yeah,
done because
they
otherwise we
should.
don't learn and improve. So,
That's smart. Okay. So as we talk to accountants and we teach a course on people being virtual CFOs, and you're
mm,
probably aware, you've been on accounting podcasts, that client advisory service is a big area that accountants are trying to get into
yeah,
as things like taxes and bookkeeping continue to get automated, cheaper
mhm,
resources, all of that.
yeah,
We work with people who want to do these kind of things, but I'm thinking of something you said earlier around unless you're trying to change your strategy,
mm,
and many of these companies are. They're saying, okay, this is this new world. I want to get into it. So they take our course and we coach them.
mhm,
Is you think of those five. So you got someone in practice who says, well, I don't want to walk away completely and just start a new practice. I got this, but I do want to really shift toward new customers.
yeah.
The five standout strategies, how do they apply in that case? Or sort of how do you approach them?
It will really depend on what sort of clients they're looking for and what sort of change they want to make because
Mm-hmm.
they could actually use the same strategy. You could have a firm that's been, let's say, using certainty forever. They can carry on using certainty, but they might be moving into a different market sector,
Okay,
but
makes
they
sense.
can still use certainty because the nice thing about that is with certainty, if you've got testimonials and recommendations from happy clients in sector A saying this firm is great, they do what they say they're going to do, we love working with them, you can still apply those testimonials to sector B.
Hmm.
It's the same because if the clients still want certainty, actually recommendations and testimonials is one of the best things to use if certainty is the strategy. So yeah, you don't have to completely change strategy. It's more if you want to change the way you do business.
Okay,
So for me, when I was thinking we were about growth and we weren't, we were about certainty. On the growth side, I was constantly trying to sell new products and services to my clients. What I realized is that my clients had and still have amazing reputations in what they do. Most of them don't need huge numbers of new clients.
hmm,
It's more about reputation management and about keeping the marketing ticking over. And also, most of them don't want to have to think about their marketing. They want me to say,
sure.
here's a list, do this, this, and this. Now, I have
Mm.
monthly mentoring calls with them, and most of them say, right, give me three. What three things have I got to do this month? So it's more about the way in which you work with clients rather than the type of clients.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Okay. It does, yes. And it sounds like thinking of those services is what is making you successful today. If you can identify that, will that continue, or might you think, oh, I think there really is a different strategy because of this?
Mm,
That makes a lot of sense
yeah.
for what you described. So, do you want to go through these test results and show people how they would work, the ones that I took?
Yes. Well, what I wanted to ask you, Tom, is as you've been listening to me talk about the five strategies, and when you were doing the test, was there a particular strategy that resonates with you more that you think might be the right one for you?
So yes, when you were describing the standout strategies, I picked two that I said, I'm guessing these are the ones that our clients want. Do you want me to tell you those two?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Certainty and growth. And
Mhm.
one thing we hear from a lot of prospects and existing clients, a lot of prospects coming in will say things like, my accounting books are out of control. I don't
Mhm.
really know where I am and I need that cleaned up. And then the growth piece is, I want to get bigger. I just don't know how. And just recently, one said, we have extra money. We'd like to open a second restaurant. We just don't know if we can. And they would love someone to be able to say, here's a model of what that looks like. And yes, this is a great decision, or here's the point you could do that. So I think of those two being two really important strategies.
Very interesting. Okay, so I ran the numbers. You ticked a whole bunch of words on the lists. And what it showed me is that significance, contribution, and growth are actually very low scores for you.
Oh, okay.
Your second highest is certainty, which I get because they want the work done. But your highest by quite a long way was connection.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And I've seen this before because I probably need to get to know your business a bit better. But if it is about accountancy, I'm thinking let's take the restaurant example. If
Uh-huh.
someone's saying I need to know, can I open another restaurant? They could well be working with you because they want to know if they can open another restaurant, but then they're going to need to know, okay, who can you put me in touch with who can help me buy another restaurant, fit
Hmm.
it out, bring the staff in, recruit them, train them, suppliers of the ingredients,
Right.
marketing to get people to come to the restaurant. I've seen this before I did some work with an accountancy firm in London, and they thought their strategy was certainty. And we did the test with them, and it came out really high on connection because they
Mm.
actually run the thing that makes them really different is they run networking events for their clients.
Oh,
Their
interesting.
clients, yeah, they've got a fabulous new office in London, and their clients can go there on a regular basis and meet other businesses and network.
Mm.
And that's
Okay.
really unusual for an accountancy firm to do that.
It
So
is.
it would definitely be worth you giving the test page of the website to some of your clients and say to them, how do you feel when you work with us? How
Hmm.
do you want to feel? And see how many, what you're looking for is basically the simplest way is you're looking for the column that has the highest number of ticks.
Hmm.
For you, well, it doesn't say on the website which strategy is which, but when you've had a few people do that, let me know,
Okay.
and then I will share with you which strategy is which. I'm not going to say it over
Sure.
the airways now because I don't want people to look at the site and go, oh, I definitely think I'm certainty, therefore I'm going for that list.
Yes, totally. I'm going to cheat.
And for anyone who has a logical brain, know the order of the lists on the website does not match up with the order in which I talk through them on this podcast.
Hmm.
Done that on
Good.
purpose.
Yeah, good. And anyone listening, we'll have a link to this in our show notes.
Yeah,
And I probably spent about 5 minutes taking the test. It's a
yeah,
list of emotions that you can go through and say, which ones do I think? So, in case anyone's thinking this is a survey that's going to take 30 to 40 minutes and I'm going to pay for it and things like that, that's not the
it's
case.
quick. Yeah, no,
It'll be
it's
there.
it's free, and yeah, take 5 to 10 minutes. If you run more than one business, focus on one business at a time. You can take the test as many times as you like, but do it for each business. If you've got my partner runs he's a business mentor. He has two different sides to his business, and so he's done the test separately because we were promoting his main mentoring service on certainty, and it was working brilliantly. We then try to use certainty for, he runs masterminding groups and
Hmm.
mastery groups and gets groups of people together. And then the certainty element wasn't working. And then we realized that actually for that part of the business, it's significance. So when you take the test, really focus on one business, one part of the business to make sure that it's spot on for that. Because that
Great.
will, otherwise that will give some odd results. So
That sounds great. I didn't mention connection, but as you said that, I think of oftentimes where we will do things like we work with a firm that has wealth management and legal services. So as we
mm,
get into someone who doesn't have like a buy sell agreement or they don't handle investments, more on the personal side, but
yeah,
it's still the owner.
Yeah.
We'll do valuation of businesses where we're going outside and recommending people for that. We'll do things with bankers, oftentimes different software tools of, hey, how do I pay bills better? Well, we can get you set up with bill.com.
There we go. Yeah,
So
that's
I can see how they like being able to say, can I do this? And then we're bringing them the solution or connecting them and kind of facilitating that. I'm not sure I realize maybe the value versus just, oh, I know people, and so I'll do that. It's probably
it's
more they're coming to get that kind of
it's
thing.
huge. Yeah, it is huge. And I'm just looking at the actual words that you ticked.
Hmm.
And on the list, you had collaboration and connected, as well as respected and valued. Those are really, really important. So if you've got clients who, yeah, when you're saying to them, well, you need to do this, they're going to be going, okay, but tell me who I talk to. They're not going to want to have to go and find somebody else to do that part of the business when it's still
Yeah.
financial. So yeah, that element of connection is really strong. You can use that in your marketing.
That is a great point. Yeah, and I think of for many things, I mean, people are, especially when it comes to things like taxes, people are just afraid of doing things on their own and they don't know what it means. And they'll ask us questions where I often think you probably know the answer, but I know it feels risky. So to your point, someone making connections saying like, I know this person, I'm going to help you through this is very valuable versus just saying,
Yeah,
oh, go find someone to do that
yeah,
kind
yeah,
of stuff. So that's
yeah.
great. I think we can leverage
What you could do, and this is so the next question I'm often asked is, okay, so I've got my strategy, what
that.
next?
Yep.
The what next is about using the language from that strategy in your marketing. Like I said, when I rewrote my client's LinkedIn profile, her strategy is growth, and I went down the list and used as many as I could. Obviously, it's still got to make sense. It's got to
Sure.
read properly, but I love playing with words, so I found it really fun to weave them in. So you can start weaving in certainty and connection. I would go for connection first. And just so I don't spoil everything, I'm just popping it into the chat so that you can see it. So that's the color that you need to be looking for connection, if you can see that color.
Uh-huh.
And
Yep.
then certainty is that one there.
Okay.
And
Good.
but lead with connection and then add in some certainty. So
Okay.
and
That
for
is a
anyone
great
who's going, why isn't she sharing the colours? Go and take the test, and then I'll tell you what they all mean.
Yes,
So I have
exactly.
an ebook that I send out to people once they've done the test that explains what the different columns mean and what the different colours are.
Yeah. Oh, I can think of tests where the title was at the top and I'm like, I want to be that. So then I'm naturally trying to answer there because I want you to come out and say I'm this type of a whatever that's
Yeah.
in there.
And I often I run workshops on this and I speak to peer groups about it, and some of them will go, oh yes, I'm definitely this. I actually ran an event about a year ago for a group of businesses in London, and the business owner who was running the group said, oh yes, my strategy is definitely this. And he kind of cheated ever so slightly when he took the test because he knew the different strategies. He was like, it's definitely this one. And I sat there at the event listening to what he was saying, what his customers were saying, the masterminding people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking, I don't think that's right. So I said to them, why do you work with him? Why are you here? And it came out as a completely different strategy, which I twigged already because I can do that. And he was like, oh, okay. So because he realized he'd fiddled the test, but he actually listened to what his clients were saying there in the room. Like, no, we want this. There we go.
That's great. So as you work with individual companies, because there are probably I hope that there are people listening saying, she could probably help me. This sounds good. Do you want to talk a little bit about how that works? And if it does work for maybe some of the people listening are fairly small organizations, maybe an owner is small, and maybe we talk about a different where you may have more of a leadership team with a group of people.
Yeah, my favorite clients, the ones I have most of, are there's just one person in the business.
Oh, okay.
So they might have been going for a very long time, but there is just them in the business. So yeah, that's absolutely fine.
Mm-hmm.
And in terms of taking the test, it's actually easier because there's just one person involved.
Sure.
Because that person can really talk to the clients. Usually that one person knows the clients much better. The bigger the business becomes, the harder it gets. However, it is still doable. And I've had some interesting situations where somebody from a marketing department in one company has taken the test, and somebody from the sales department or management or wherever has taken the test from the same company, and they're getting different results. And that's fascinating. I had it once where there was a company who was saying, well, we sell on this. And the delivery team were like, no, we don't. We're delivering that. Okay, you two, you're selling one thing and delivering something else. That was interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would.
But yeah, I love a challenge. I can work with not massive companies, small to
Mhm.
medium sized. And I always need to have some sort of involvement with the boss, with the founder, or the MD, the CEO, whoever's at the top, because I need their input. They need to take the test. They are usually one that's driving it, particularly if it's I have one client where they've got 35 members of staff now. When I started with them nearly 10 years ago, there were 18. But
Oh, uh-huh.
it's still the same guy. He set the business up. He's sort of stepping back. He's trying to retire, failing dismally, because he doesn't want to let go. But he's the one who drives it because it's his passion, and he's brought people in. So
Okay. And I would assume you would focus initially on that strategy, get that figured out, and then let's talk about what the tactics would be to support that. Is that
absolutely,
true?
yeah. I take people through a planning process, which looks at, okay, what is your strategy? Which of the 5 do we need to be working on? We look at what their goals and objectives are, because without knowing what they want to achieve, it's hard to work out how to advise how much marketing to do. If
Mhm.
they're looking for massive growth, more marketing. If they're only looking for a couple of clients, less to be done. And then we also look at who their ideal clients are. And I have a really fab process that I take people through to identify the types of people, the types of business owners, types of individuals they want to work with, even if they're leading massive organizations. Once we've done the strategic thinking and planning, then we look at the tactics. One of my marketing mantras is strategy before tactics.
Mhm.
And too many people, I was talking to somebody at a networking event only this morning who's a brand new business. And he said, I've nearly got my website set up and I've got LinkedIn and I'm coming networking. What next? I said, okay, stop. Stop right there. Let's have a strategy session. Let's look at what you actually want to achieve with your business and who do you want to work with? What are your services? Because he doesn't even know that yet. He's just
Yeah.
gone, oh, let's set up a business. So we do all of that, and then we look at the tactics. Then we look at, okay, what needs to go on your website? What are you going to be posting on LinkedIn? Where are you going to go networking? Are you going to go networking? Are you going to be on social media? Preferably not. That's another story. Yeah, so we do the strategic element, and then we look at the tactics. And I create marketing plans for clients, which could be 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, and then I mentor them through that. So I don't do the marketing for them. I tell them
Mhm.
what to do. I'm certainty. I'm bossy. I tell them
Uh-huh.
what to do. And then on a monthly basis, sometimes fortnightly, we'll have a conversation of, okay, what have you done? What haven't you done? And why not? And what's stopping you? And what's working well? And what do we need to do more? So I'm there as accountability partner, cheerleader, general whip cracker, and nag
Sure.
them and keep them going.
And
So,
new ideas and all of that. Would you, in my mind, when you described the person who did the website first and the LinkedIn and all this stuff,
mm,
strategy is hard where those kind of things I know how to at least know and it shows activity.
mm.
Do you think that's part of it that people just don't know how and it's really hard to sit down and say, what do you want to do? Okay.
Yeah,
I'm not
absolutely.
surprised.
Most people who are, I work with a lot of people who've come out of corporate and they've decided to set up on their own, like I
Mhm.
did. They might have been made redundant or moved away or whatever. So they've got no experience of running their own company. They don't know how, and particularly when there's just the person I was talking to this morning, there are 2 of them in the business, but they still don't know what planning they should do. I meet a lot of people who say, "Oh, well, I've heard I need a website, or I've been told I should be on social media. Is that true?" No, mostly no, it isn't. Not when you run a service business.
Mhm.
So they don't know. And I actually gave this chap a copy of one of my books, the marketing planning book, the one that's behind me. If you're watching this,
Uh-huh.
that I wrote, I don't know, about 15 years ago. I gave him a copy of that and said, look, start working through the strategic
Mhm.
elements. Most people, a lot of people they kind of think, oh, I need to do some marketing. I don't know what to do. I'll try something and see if it works.
Mhm.
Whereas my way of doing it is no, do the strategic thinking first, and that will show you what marketing to do that will work.
Yeah.
Saves a lot of time and money doing it that
Makes a lot of sense. I wonder if you might see some of the, we talk a lot about figuring out what your niche is.
way.
So we would describe that we tend to work with companies in around the $3 to $5 million revenue range, and digital agencies has been a huge part of our business, more than half. That's our target group.
Yeah.
One reaction that we get if you dig into accountants when they're trying to do this from the beginning is when they hear niche, they think I'm excluding other clients.
Yeah.
So they don't want to rule those things out. Do you think the strategy has some of the same kind of thing? If I pick certainty and connection, then I'm ignoring contribution, growth, and significance. Do you think that's an element that plays in people's mind?
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. And it's something that everybody has to get over at some point. Because if I meet too many people who say, oh, I can work with anyone and I can do anything. In fact, at the networking event this morning, there was somebody who said, oh, I can do anything to do with whatever area she was in. If you try to work with everyone and do everything, you will confuse everyone. Nobody will know what you actually do.
Right.
Most of us want to work with an expert. We want to work with somebody who really knows their stuff, who knows something about our industry or our lifestyle. Or I've recently started working with a new osteopath. I've got a back issue, and she was recommended to me because she is the right sort of person and she understands. I had surgery 18 months ago, and she's worked with a lot of people who've had the same surgery and also have similar crazy lifestyles to me, like wanting to go horse riding and skiing and all of that. So working with her means she really understands where I want to get to with my health and my mobility. If she said, oh, I work with anyone and everyone, I probably wouldn't have booked a session with her.
Sure.
But because I know that she specializes in this, I've gone, right, okay, I'll go there. And also it means that when we specialize, we can charge more because we are an expert in what we do. And people want to work with people who know what they're doing and are generally prepared to pay more for it. So it's a brave thing to do, particularly in the early stages of business, to say, okay, this is what I focus on. I'm going to be really narrow and focused, and I'm going to forget everybody else. It's okay if somebody else comes to you and says, oh, I'd really like to work with you. Although saying that, over the years, I've had businesses come to me, particularly companies that sell products, and that's not my thing. I work with service businesses, so I don't promote the fact that I actually actively say I don't do product marketing. But some companies will still come and say, oh, but could you? Yes, it's really expensive and really interesting. We've just got to be brave and go, no, that's not for me.
I agree.
I'm focused on my area.
Yeah. And an additional thing I would add, and I agree completely with what you said, and we often tell people, even though that's the niche that we've always advertised, it's about half of our business. We have many companies that say, we have heard you are really good and we are not a digital agency. Will you work with us? And we do. And it's a little bit less than half of my group of clients. And if you're an accountant, about 80% of business is about the same. And then there's the 20% that is really unique to that business. And so I often tell people, don't think that means you will turn away all this other business. And similar to you, I think you said, if it was interesting, you could do it, you take those clients.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you do allow yourself not to say, I do everything for everyone. And then that means no one knows how you feel.
Yeah, exactly. The majority of my clients are coaches and speakers. And the person I was talking to this morning is a consultant for scientific startup businesses.
Oh.
I've never worked with one of those before. But he came over and went, I've heard great things. Can you help? Okay, yes, because actually it's the same principles. So I wouldn't turn him away by going, no, I don't. I only work with coaches and speakers, because he's still running a service business. He's still floundering, going, I don't know what marketing to do. And he had the right attitude of, tell me what to do. So,
that's exciting. That is great.
Yeah.
Chantal, is there anything I haven't asked that you were hoping that we would talk about today? Anything that you'd like to really emphasize for people that we should have gotten to?
You haven't asked me how many horses I have or how often I go skiing, but we'll save that for another one. This has been great fun. You've asked some really great questions. We've covered a lot of the standout strategies. Yeah, I think
That's great.
Tick in the box. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, why don't you finish by telling people a little bit more your books, where they can find those, and then if they want to find more from you, we'll have it in the show notes, but you can still talk about how people are, if interested, can follow you.
Okay. Yep. Magnetic Marketing is the marketing planning book that I wrote. That one, I think you can get it on Amazon. I can't remember. But
Okay.
otherwise, if you go to my website, which is appletreeuk.com, you can find it there. And Standout Strategies is the new one. You can also order that on my website. I'm currently selling both, I think, for free UK postage because I'm based in the UK.
Sure.
If you live outside of the UK, you can still order it, but then I need to talk to you about where in the world you are and
Okay.
sort out postage. So yeah, they're both on the website.
That's great. Well, thank you very much. This was really interesting. I can see how it could apply to a lot of our listeners, and I got a lot of personal benefit by doing this. And you've given me the question of how do you feel when you work with me, that I'm going to start using with my clients, and really look forward to what I get from that.
Let me know how it goes, and have a play with weaving the connection and certainty words into your. You can use it in your marketing, so you can put it onto your website, your LinkedIn profile. You can also use it in sales conversations. When you're talking to somebody, when they say, "What do I get from working with you?" Weave some of those words in. Because I'm certainty, I talk a lot about helping my clients to develop clarity and confidence. It's marketing, but they get clarity and confidence, and then make sure you deliver it as well. So it's the marketing, the sales, and the customer service. So if somebody is buying you because of connection, make sure that you deliver the heck out of connection. And for you, it might be phoning up a client going, "Oh, I've just had a thought. There's this company that you might want to talk to." Really nice surprise when they haven't necessarily asked you for a connection, but you've gone, "Oh, hang on. Oh, I could put these two together." So that's a nice.
That is a great tip and a great place to end. Thank you again. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy this podcast? Visit our website, summitcpa.net, to get more tips and strategy for achieving modern CPA firm success. We're here to be a resource in this ever-changing industry.